Hello everybody and welcome back to another EP video. Donald Trump has been criticized and reprimanded like no other president in American history. He's the first ever president to be impeached by the House of Representatives twice, and he is the first ever president to have the House of Representatives call for his cabinet and vice president to remove him from office by invoking the 25th Amendment. In fact, there have been just 4 presidential impeachments in American history, and Trump represents half of that total. The specific wording used in the article of impeachment adopted by the House of Representatives on January 16th was incredibly damning of the president's conduct since November's election. Trump, according to the House, was inciting violence against the government of the United States and threatened the integrity of the democratic system. But unfortunately for the Democratic Party, the power of their rebukes of Trump are largely overshadowed by the fact that they have been mostly partisan. Not a single House Republican voted for Trump's impeachment in 2019 over the pressure he exerted on the Ukrainian government to investigate the Biden family. And only one Republican senator, Mitt Romney from Utah, supported convicting and removing Trump from office. Furthermore, in the aftermath of the attack on the Capitol by Trump supporters on January 6th, only one Republican House member, Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, supported invoking the 25th Amendment, and only 9 House Republicans joined Kinzinger in supporting impeachment. This consistently strong Republican loyalty to the former President Donald Trump is a very important and historic dynamic. It is crucial not to overstate the magnitude of the opposition to Trump in the GOP simply because it includes some high-profile members of the party. Senator Mitt Romney, the party's 2012 presidential nominee, and Representative Liz Cheney, both the number 3 Republican in the party's leadership and the daughter of a Republican Vice President, Dick Cheney, have both condemned Trump's actions and labeled him as a terribly divisive and dangerous president and supported his removal from office. And a third major Republican, arguably the party's most powerful elected official in government, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, has allowed his allies to leak to the press that he believes Trump has committed impeachable offenses. A few other Republicans in the Senate, most notably Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and Ben Sasse of Nebraska, have suggested that they might back a post-presidency conviction of the impeachment charge, but it is still unclear whether they would actually do so. Never mind all of that, the overwhelming majority of the Republicans in the House still voted against impeachment even after the invasion of the Capitol that could very well have put their lives at risk. Majority Leader at the time, Mitch McConnell, also opted against pushing to have a quick Senate vote to have removed Trump from office before the inauguration. Former Vice President Mike Pence and Trump's cabinet opposed the idea of removing him via the 25th Amendment, and polls suggested that a clear majority of Republican voters did not want Trump preemptively impeached or removed from office. So if there was and is still a battle going on for control of the Republican Party, at least right now, those still allied with Trump and Trumpism are winning, and it's not particularly close. The GOP has a small group of officials like Romney and Cheney that were and are clearly still uncomfortable with Trump and what he stood for, and a group that strongly embraces Trumpism, such as the members of the House Freedom Caucus and Senators Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, and many more. It's also important to note that a lot of Republicans in Congress are not necessarily all that committed to Trumpism or all that firmly against it. Rather, they are politicians who are trying to land in the right spot to keep their jobs and position themselves for runs for higher offices in the future. And ultimately, the impeachment votes from Republicans on Capitol Hill on January 16th tell a clear story. They think that the best bet for a Republican politician, at least right now, is to stay aligned with Trumpism, and that the party base is more connected to Trump than to traditional Republican norms and values of the GOP of the past, led by people like former Vice President Dick Cheney and Mitt Romney. In fact, the person who might lose their job through this process is not Trump, but Liz Cheney, as the House Freedom Caucus and their allies are trying to have her removed from Republican leadership because of her impeachment vote. Bring all of this together and you have a complicated story at the end of Trump's presidency. The House of Representatives has reprimanded him like it has no other president in American history, passing two separate provisions, the 25th Amendment proposal, then impeachment, in a rush to get him out of office, even though he had only 2 weeks left in his presidency and had already been impeached once prior. But nonetheless, while it is officially the US House that has impeached Trump twice, it is essentially only Democrats who condemned him. At the end of the day, Donald Trump was still able to finish his term and avoid complete renunciation of his presidency, with a lot of votes in opposition to him from both parties. So for right now and in the foreseeable future, it is unclear whether Trump will be remembered as a historically terrible president or just a historically terrible president according to Democrats. That is all for today's video. Feel free to contribute to the debate in the comment section down below and let me know what kind of videos you want to see going forward. I hope you all enjoyed this video though. Please make sure to follow EP Official on all of my social medias, linked in the description down below. Make sure to like this video down below if you did as well, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out more content from my channel here, and as always, tune in next time. EP out.